Today we're at Fushifaru here in the Maldives.
We've had an incredible 4 nights on this beautiful island, and we can't wait to tell you everything you need to know before you book. Welcome back to the channel. If you're new here, I'm Max.
I'm Marin.
We're Voyager Group. We post weekly videos with travel tips, hotel reviews, and videos from some of our favorite destinations around the world. So if you don't already, consider subscribing. And of course, if you like this video, make sure to give us a thumbs up. It really helps our videos get more exposure and produce more videos just like this. All right, so let's jump into our first category. Location.
Location we rate 5 stars. Fushifaru is located in Lhaviyani Atoll, and it is a beautiful area of the Maldives. This atoll is known for its incredible sea life and manta rays in some of the year. It's about a 45-minute flight from Malé, which is an easy seaplane ride away.
This is a beautiful island. It's small with only 60 rooms. You can walk around the entire island in just about 15 minutes. But what makes this island so unique is it has an incredible sandbar. In fact, one of the largest in the Maldives that's directly next to it, which is private to the hotel. They use it for all their excursions. You can do tons of cool things there, including going for picnics. They even have movie nights there, jet skiing, all kinds of fun activities. And it's directly across from the main island, which makes incredible access, super easy to get to. You pop over there in just 5 minutes, so it's a really easy boat ride. And honestly, you see it from both the island, but also when you're over there looking back at the island, it makes an incredibly unique and beautiful Maldives experience with crystal blue water.
One of the great things about this atoll is there's not that many hotels here, so you don't get the same amount of boating traffic and traffic in general as you do in some of the larger, more popular atolls like Ra and Ba. The island's beaches are also incredibly beautiful with white sand and teal water surrounding the entire island. It makes for a really nice experience swimming both at the beach villas and from the overwater villas.
The beach is so white with just crystal blue water. In fact, some of the most beautiful that we've seen, honestly. And underneath the overwater villas, you have really nice blue water as well. So it's kind of a perfect location, whether you're in the overwater villas or on the beach, in terms of the actual clarity and how blue the water is. The last thing we'll say about this location is it is quite unique that it actually has its own tila, which is a small underwater island which they can use for diving. And at that tila, while there's not a lot of fish year round, there are seasonally mantas that come to a cleaning station there. And so for a couple months a year, it's a great place to actually see mantas directly in front of the resort, where you can go on a short dive with the diving crew here in order to see mantas. I was lucky enough on my snorkeling excursion to actually see a couple mantas going right by the side of the reef. So even if you're not here during that time, it turns out you actually can see manta rays as well. The island of Fushifaru is located just about 45 minutes by seaplane, which brings us to our second category, lobby and check-in.
Lobby and check-in we rate 4.5 stars. If you've watched some of our other videos, you'll know that lobby and check-in starts when you arrive in Malé at the international airport. When you come out of customs, you're greeted by the hotel representative with a sign that says Fushifaru, and they're in very colorful attire, so it's really easy to spot. We were quickly taken to the seaplane check-in counter and bussed over to the seaplane terminal, where all guests of Fushifaru have access to a beautiful new lounge run by Trans-Maldivian Airlines. We've been coming here for over 6 years, and they recently opened this amazing new seaplane terminal, which makes the wait to get to Fushifaru super comfortable.
The seaplane terminal makes an amazing experience for not just Fushifaru, but all hotels that fly out of that new seaplane terminal, because it really is a complete change of experience. If you've been to the Maldives prior to that new seaplane terminal opening, you will be very surprised when you do see it. And the convenience of a lounge is great to have, because oftentimes you do have some longer waits. Typically you're somewhere between an hour and a half to 2 hours, but you could, due to weather or other international flights being delayed, you might be sharing passengers with that could potentially have you delayed longer. So having that lounge is really clutch.
While they don't have their own private lounge like a lot of the luxury hotels do, they do have access to the Trans-Maldivian lounge, where they have plenty of soft drinks, food, and they even have showers with shampoo, conditioner, and all the amenities you would need. So it really is a great place if you're coming from an international flight to refresh before heading out to the island. Once you do get on the seaplane, it's a short 45-minute flight. It is a little bit farther than some of the other atolls like Ba and Ra, and you might stop at some hotels along the way. We did stop at one hotel along the way, so we got here in about 1 hour's time. We actually pulled up right to the dock when we arrived at the hotel, and were greeted with Bodu Baru drummers and lots of staff singing and dancing and giving us cold towels and refreshments. It was a really wonderful welcome arrival.
The check-in is done as a seated check-in in the lobby, where you are either in the outdoor portion of the lobby or the indoor air-conditioned part, which is also used as a waiting area for the seaplane. At check-in, you do also meet your island host, who is kind of like a butler of sorts or a concierge. They help you make reservations on the island for things like excursions, and they're kind of your go-to person. They do share their WhatsApp with you as well. Our island host is also the person who gave us a tour of the room, which brings us to our third category, rooms.
Rooms we rate 4 stars. Fushifaru has 63 villas, starting from the Sunrise Beach villas without a pool all the way up to the premium overwater pool villas. We were checked into a beach sunset pool villa located on a beautiful stretch of white sand beach on the sunset facing side. When you walk into the room, the king bed does face the view. There's a small desk area to the left-hand side and a sitting area on the right-hand side. That bathroom is a fully outdoor bathroom. It has a his and hers vanity, outdoor shower, partially indoor shower, being outside but with the glass enclosure, as well as the toilet room. There is also a beautiful bathtub that is very modern, sitting in the middle of the bathroom as well. Outside on the front of the villa, we have a patio with a small dinette, a lounge space, as well as a large pool with 2 chaise lounges in the shallow end of the pool. The beach villas do also come with a pergola and 2 chaise lounges out on the beach with a gorgeous, gorgeous view. All of the beach pool villas on the sunset side have very similar views and very similar foliage, so there's not really a bad room in that category. There is a minibar in the room. The minibar is chargeable outside of 2 coffee pods per day, as well as complimentary water, tea, and Nescafe. They do serve alcohol in the rooms, and the half bottles of wine start at $35. The beach villas on the sunrise side have significantly less foliage facing the view part of the room, so those are a great option if you're looking for uninterrupted views of the water. We did have the chance to tour a couple of additional room types, including the 2-bedroom duplex villa, as well as the overwater villas. I absolutely love the style of the overwater villa. They are absolutely beautiful and much lighter tones than the beach villas.
The overwater villas were built more recently, and it really does show. The finishings of the overwater villas are significantly newer and nicer in general. As Maren mentioned, they have a much lighter tone with beech woods, as well as kind of a more Maldivian inclined design. The rooms are bright and airy, and in general give off a little bit more of a luxurious vibe than the beach villas. That being said, the beach villa bathroom is gorgeous. It does have a gorgeous tub as well as an outdoor shower that are absolutely beautiful, but one downside of the outdoor bathroom is that it is fully outdoors. In other words, both your sink and your toilet are also outside, which can sometimes be a little bit of a disadvantage on a particularly muggy or hot day, or if there's a little bit more insects than usual. Overwater villas often don't have that same drawback, so that is kind of a beach versus overwater villa in general. But one thing that I will say is, in terms of bugs and mosquitoes, it is always preferable to be on the sunset side if you are going to be on the beach, because you usually do get more wind no matter what the season is.
Currently, we are filming from the premium overwater pool villa on the sunset side, and this is absolutely my favorite room on property. It is very luxurious. It has a gorgeous pool with a glass front, making this a very premium offering for the hotel, and I'd highly recommend checking that out if it is in budget.
In general, I would say that if we were just looking at the beach rooms, we probably would have rated rooms a little bit lower. When we were looking at rating rooms, we had to average across all of the rooms on property and all of the different room types. I will say I still really like the location of the beach villas, but I am definitely looking forward to a renovation on those beach villas so that they come up to the same level as the overwater villas that they've built here.
They did tell us that they are adding on additional water villas in a couple of years' time, as well as doing continuing renovations on the beach villas starting in 2026. We can't wait to see what that looks like, because these villas here in the overwater section are really, really beautiful.
One of the things we liked the most about the rooms was coming back to a freshly cleaned room twice a day by housekeeping, which of course brings us to our fourth category, service.
Service we rate 4 stars. Overall, the service here is super personal, and it actually reminded us a lot more of French Polynesia than a lot of the luxury experiences that we've had in the Maldives. Since the hotel is so small, all the staff after a couple of days know exactly who you are and what your preferences are. That part of being on this resort feels really, really special and intimate. Housekeeping was absolutely one of the highlights here. Not only did we get adorable, cute little signs like "Have a nice day" written in sand on the patio, but we also got a lovely gift of a jacuzzi with flower petals that was waiting for us at Turndown last night. It really feels like the staff genuinely cares about you, particularly on the housekeeping housekeeping side. Housekeeping also did a great job overall, really turning over the rooms and mostly being there when we were completely out of the room at breakfast or at other meal times.
We felt that while the service did lack refinement in some areas, it did certainly make up for it in authenticity. All of the staff really did want to put their best foot forward, and it was very exciting to also see the staff engaged in a lot of different things throughout property. So even though they might have just been a host or just worked at the spa or the restaurant, on certain nights like the Maldivian theme night, they were also the dancers and the drummers and the singers. On karaoke night, we even saw one of the waitresses who engaged in hosting the karaoke night as well. And so there's really kind of a familial style to the staff on this island, and for the most part, they really do actually make you feel very welcome into that environment as well.
We found the wait staff to be super helpful, and they always remembered our preferences. We asked for an ice bucket one time, and every day there's been an ice bucket on the lunch table since. And those types of little touches can only really exist at a small property like this that is super laid back and tiny.
There's also a lot of behind the scenes service staff as well who are raking the beaches as well as removing all of the leaves, cleaning your rooms silently, moving from one area to another, bringing in cushions before rain, and all of that is done in a pretty seamless way across property. Some of the staff that we had the most engagements with were within dining, and honestly, I thought they were some of the friendliest staff on property in particular, which of course brings us to our fifth category, dining.
Dining, we rate 4 stars. This property has 2 outlets. One is Korakali, and that's their main buffet outlet and all-day dining venue. And then there's also Rakani, and that is their a la carte option. They do also have a pool bar that serves snacks and bites throughout the day as well, and they do offer in-room dining. Korakali is the only restaurant that's included on all of the meal plans at this time, and it is a buffet, but it also does have an a la carte option. So for breakfast, lunch, and dinner, you can order off an a la carte menu included. We found the food there to be very good across the board. Their breakfast is expansive and has options from Maldivian cuisine to Indian cuisine. They have some Asian cuisine as well as the Western dishes like omelets and so on. The buffet restaurant does offer theme nights throughout the week as well, so it does switch up the menu a little bit. They do have a Maldivian night on Fridays as well as an Indian night on another day of the week, so that does add a little bit of variety into the cuisine. Rakani is the a la carte restaurant. It's their fine dining option, and it's located next to the pool bar. We did have the chance to try dinner there one night, and the food is very good. They focus primarily on surf and turf. Rakani does also have a teppanyaki table that is reservation only, and it does seat 8 guests for a teppanyaki experience. This restaurant is currently not included in most meal plans. They are expanding their all-inclusive package next year in 2025, so that will be included in the premium all-inclusive plan. There is also a small bar located next to the water villas. It's a little VW van that's super cute that serves drinks and a few snacks. Those drinks are included on the all-inclusive plan, but the snacks are chargeable. Finally, the pool bar is open all day. They serve all-day dining for lunch and dinner, as well as excellent cocktails that we partook in at sunset.
Although this property does have a small number of outlets in comparison to a lot of other properties in the Maldives, it does try to do its best with the facilities that it has. As Marin mentioned, they do have that all-day dining facility and Rakani, which kind of serves as 2 restaurants in one, with the part teppanyaki as well as the part sit-down kind of fine dining experience. As you would imagine, in the 4 nights that we were here, we did get to try both Rakani as well as multiple meals at the all-day dining facility. And what I was surprised by was that they actually had quite a bit of variety, and so it didn't make it feel as boring as I thought it might be to have so few venues. Across property, I do think that the food actually was pretty good. The level of food and the level of quality of the food is quite high. I will say most dishes are a little simpler and aren't made with so much sophistication, but they are all delicious and well prepared.
One of the biggest surprises that we had on property was the cost of some of the things like wine. Wine in the Maldives is typically extremely expensive, as is all alcohol. Their wine starts at just $6 and their cocktails start around $12. This is extremely reasonable from any hotel in the Maldives, and honestly at this price point is the cheapest we have seen by far.
I will say that's true for everything except beer. For some reason, beer in particular started around the $8 range and went up to $12 or $14, which was a little out of par with how wine was priced. But as Marin mentioned, the price of wine was really reasonably priced, and they had a great rosé that we had during lunch.
They do also have a number of romantic destination dining experiences that ranges in a lot of different price points, which is really awesome. They have a package that's $100 to set up. It's located off of the pier on the buffet restaurant, and that's the only added price. Guests can can go and use the buffet and eat at that beautiful little venue that they set up, which is a really nice option. It does also increase from there, ending on the most expensive option, which is a sandbar dinner. That is priced around $400 depending on the menu that you choose, and can be a wonderful experience if you are here on a honeymoon or an anniversary.
It's really cool that they have so many different destination opportunities on property, but obviously the coolest one is certainly the sandbar. However, you don't just have the option to do that dining experience out there. There's tons of different activities that you can do around the sandbar, which of course leads us to our sixth category, facilities.
Facilities we rate 4 stars. For a small property, they really do have a lot to offer. Of course, as Max mentioned, the sandbar is one of the most incredible reasons to come to this resort, and they do offer a number of excursions starting at $99 an hour to go out to that sandbar. That sandbar is completely private during your time, and no other guests are allowed there. We had the chance to experience the sandbar, and the setup is so incredible. It's very Robinson Crusoe. They have this beautiful covering with 2 beautiful little chairs, as well as 2 chaise lounges. They do bring a fruit plate and some juices as well, and you have that time to just enjoy and explore the sandbar. They do things like half-day excursions, and you can even go for a full day. Personally, I would recommend a half-day trip to the sandbar because it really is such an incredible experience, and by the time you're done taking photos, an hour is already gone.
The water there is also so incredibly blue all around the sandbar. It is just as blue as you can possibly imagine Maldivian water, and it honestly couldn't be more beautiful.
They do also have a dive center and water sports facility on the island. It is owned by Best Dives, which is a third party. Their prices are quite high across all the resorts that they work with in the Maldives. So if you are planning on scuba diving here while you're on property, do keep in mind it's over $240 per person for a 2-tank dive. That being said, they do offer everything here, including jet skis, sea bobs, and all of this catamarans and boats that you can imagine. They even have a semi-submarine as well. If you're on a meal plan, you do also have included some non-motorized water sports like a paddleboard or a kayak. They do also offer a glass-bottom kayak that is an extra charge.
They have a number of water sports facilities, including kite surfing, windsurfing, pretty much anything that you could imagine. And for the size of the island, there's quite a lot to do. They even have a tennis court that doubles as a soccer pitch, so they're really trying to do the most they can with the facilities that they have.
They do also have a kids club, and while it's not really something to write home about, it does have an outdoor jungle gym as well as an air-conditioned room for some activities for the kids. The spa is probably one of the highlights on the property in terms of facilities. The spa prices are super reasonable, starting around $80 for a 50-minute massage, and they are including a 50-minute massage in the new premium all-inclusive plan that launches in 2025. The spa is beautiful and has individual treatment villas as well as a relaxation pool, steam, and sauna.
This property also has a lovely indoor air-conditioned gym, which we also had the opportunity to use. The gym is actually fairly well equipped with a Smith machine, a number of weights, as well as some cardio machines. They don't really have a lot of classes, which is I think one downsides that we did see. They do offer a weekly yoga class, but it is in the afternoon on an area that is kind of not ideal in terms of the sunlight at that time. So in general, that's one thing we'd love, is to see more fitness classes available, or just general activities like morning yoga, or even a group guided snorkeling excursion around the island. I think would be really nice things to add.
One of the things we do love that they do is a Maldivian day. Every Friday, they have a lot of activities and food focused on the Maldivian culture. There's even a 1-hour history and culture lesson that we thought was absolutely fabulous, starting at 5 p.m., where they teach you all about the coconuts and how the nuclear family worked in the Maldives historically. We thought that was a really nice experience. And that's followed up by a Maldivian dinner at the buffet, as well as a Botobaru show in the evening.
It's so great to see more hotels in the Maldives promoting Maldivian culture and having experiences like that. We really enjoy that aspect of it, and it's great that a boutique Maldivian brand like this is also really promoting that culture across property in more ways than just the show. They've also really incorporated that into pieces of style across the property, which of course brings us to our final and 7th category, style.
Style we rate 3.5 stars. There are a lot of elements here that show there is a lot of opportunity for this property to look exactly like this overwater village is here. That is a consistent and beautiful modern style that is still super Maldivian. And there's elements of this across the resort. The white colors, the light tones, the whitewashed wood, and the very Maldivian elements make this a really, really beautiful, consistent style. That being said, this doesn't feel the same across the entire property. It feels a little bit like they're going through a shift in identity between the beach villas that are not yet updated or upgraded up to these water villas.
As you look at different facilities across the property, the style does tend to change from area to area. So whether it's the difference in the rooms, which is likely due to these being newer and having a newer renovation, but also even between the bar and the restaurant. While the all-day dining venue, Poracali, feels more Maldivian and rustic, the other side of the island, where you're at the pool bar, feels kind of like a mix between having a very modern kind of exterior out by the pool where there's much more modern furniture, and then the inside of the pool bar kind of feels a little bit of a hodgepodge. Some things that have been kind of from previous periods, as well as some things that they've added, new furniture. So there's kind of a mix and a changing of the style that seems to be occurring across property. In general, I would say that's true of almost everything on the property. What we really did enjoy though was there are some standout elements of style that we'd love to see them do more consistently. As Maren mentioned, the rooms in these particular villas are gorgeous. They have that lighter wood accent, and if you're not familiar, Maldivians are wonderful with woodwork. They create beautiful, amazing pieces of furniture, and we've seen that at properties across the Maldives. So it's really exciting to see that they're embracing more of that kind of authentic Maldivian style. Some other pieces of Maldivian style that we really enjoy are the beautiful coconuts that we were welcomed with that had the Fushifaru logo stamped into them, as well as I think one of the coolest floating breakfasts we've ever had. We had the opportunity to partake in a floating breakfast while we were here, and it was the first one that we've ever had that really felt authentic. It was on a small replica boat of a Donny, which is the traditional Maldivian boat, and it just really had this awesome essence to it. It was hand painted and everything about it just really felt cool. I'd love to see them embrace more of that Maldivian authenticity and style across property and really elevate it in a more luxurious way. One thing I do want to highlight is the logo for Fushifaru. The words Fushi and Faru actually mean land and reef, and if you look at the logo, it's meant to represent the land and the reef underneath. And I think that's a really cool aspect of how this island thinks of itself in the ecosystem of the surrounding area. It's really beautiful to see that they're embracing their surrounding area, and the fact that they are a smaller island really allows them to do a lot of things that larger islands can't necessarily do. Since they are so lucky to have that incredible sandbar next door, as well as an incredible underwater tila, it really does all kind of flow together with the vibe of this island, and we'd love to see that extended across the property in the future.
Overall, we rate this property 4.1 stars. We have had an incredible time here over the last 4 nights, and it is an absolutely beautiful island and an incredible sandbar that is worth a trip on its own.
This is truly the Maldives in its most authentic way. It's a small, beautiful island, gorgeous blue water, and a small, personable staff that focuses on giving you a genuine experience here in the Maldives.
So if you like this video, be sure to give us a thumbs up.
And of course, if you don't already, make sure to hit that subscribe button. We'll be coming out with many more videos from here in the Maldives as well as around the world.
We've been coming to the Maldives for 6 years now and have developed some amazing partnerships in the area. So if you're considering booking Fushifaru or any other resort in the Maldives, be sure to DM us on Instagram at VoyageGuru or send us an email at team@voyageguru.com for some perks and exclusive rates. And if you follow us on Instagram, you will have already seen this entire stay play out on our stories and on our feed. So if you don't already, follow us at VoyageGuru.
Also, be sure to check out our website at voyageguru.com, where we have a full destination guide for the Maldives, as well as all of our destinations around the world. And on our Maldives destination page, you can actually go download that destination guide as a helpful 50-page resource for everything you need to know before you book.
And as always, I'm Maren.
And I'm Max.
We're Voyager Guru. See you out there.